Hallo und herzlich willkommen zurück zu The Legend of Your Trails of Cold Steel. Beim letzten Mal haben wir den zweiten Teil der Aufgaben vom ersten Tag beendet und sind nun bereit, den ersten Tag zu beenden. End of days field study and of a day's field study and return to the hotel. Jawohl. That's father. Huh? What? I'm terribly sorry for not coming to greet you, father. Although I'm here but for a short time, I, Jusis, have returned to enough. As I informed Rufus, you may do as you wish while you're here. However, you will do nothing that brings shame upon myself nor upon the Albarea name. Please be ever mindful of your position and what you represent. Yes, father. Would it be too much to ask for you to introduce yourself to my cousin? I have no time for pleasantries. Should I require anything of you, you will be contacted. Liebenswerter Gutherr. What was that all about? That's not really... That was the almighty Duke Albarea, was it? The head of one of the 4 great houses and the man in charge of this entire province. Indeed, and by some strange twist of fate, my father as well. Jusis? I've spoken out of turn. Forget I said that. Today's workload has made me hungry. Shall we turn to our rooms, then find something to eat? That sounds good to me. I'm starving. At this point, Reen and the others returned to their room for a much-needed shower. Then, after a short rest, they headed to a restaurant in the central plaza for dinner.
The breeze here feels wonderful.
The food was delicious too.
Agreed.
I can see why this restaurant is popular with the nobles. Do you dine here often, Jusis?
I do. The chef has been good to me since I was a child. I was practically raised on this food.
Ah, typical. Even in your dining habits, you nobles subsist on unnecessary luxury. Though I can't deny the quality of the food.
It wasn't just tasty, but warm too.
Yes, for a high-class restaurant, the chef seems to have used a lot of very healthy ingredients. Perhaps he's doing his part to ensure Jusis stays in good health.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I wonder what Group B is doing right now.
We had this exact same conversation in our group last month too. I'm sure they're hard at work over in St. Arc. Probably nothing to worry about.
It was Celtic for you last month, right? So you were thinking of us on the first night?
Yeah. After dinner, we were wondering how Group B was getting on. Dare I ask?
Well...
Nowhere near as peacefully as now. This is a big improvement.
I kind of figured that much.
We are doing much better this time. That much is true.
Huh? And I'm sure our reports will reflect that.
It is an improvement, though I'm not convinced it's good enough.
It's not?
I'm certain Group B gave their absolute best in all of their tasks today. But can we honestly say the same? That we could have done no better? And I'm referring not just to the monster encounter, but to the handling of our other tasks as well.
We'll just have to try and make up for it in the day we have left. Besides, we had the chance to catch sight of a far bigger problem.
Yes, that's true.
First we find out taxes are rising throughout the province. Then we find out the military is being expanded on a grand scale. Don't even try to tell me the two aren't related.
I have no intention of denying it. But you're only looking at one side of the coin. Exactly how many Oxen tanks do you think the Imperial Army has under their control?
Well...
100 or 2, I'd guess.
Precisely. The Imperial Army's military capabilities are enormous. This nation has one of the most powerful armed forces on the continent, and roughly 70% of it is under the Chancellor's control. Tell me, how is the Noble Alliance supposed to counter that?
So you're suggesting that's why the Provincial Army needs to bolster its forces?
Considering both sides are comprised of Erebonians, it all seems so wasteful.
Ah, the travails of youth! How noble and beautiful they are!
Tyler?
It's you.
Baron Blue Blanc, I believe?
Ha ha! It's such an honor that you would remember a mere baron. I see you've completed a hard day's work already. How splendid!
Yes, nearly.
What about you?
Alas, I have yet to be blessed with the fateful encounter I seek. The search for beauty is filled with perils and obstacles, yet that is precisely what makes it all so beautiful.
Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your stay.
I most certainly will. Though it truly is a pity that the clear air of this verdant city should be tinged, if but faintly, with the scent of steel.
Etwa Cold Steel?
I'd heard that Duke Albarea was a man of many interests, but I was unaware he counted playing with fire among them. I don't condemn him for it, though, for only by playing with fire can one create fireworks. Would you not agree, my friends?
I don't like your implications.
And I think this whole line of conversation is a little inappropriate.
Oh, please do pardon me, young lady. I meant no harm, I assure you. I wish you well on your remaining day here. May you reveal to me the beauty I seek by its end. Be it the lovely luster of success or the sad splendor of failure.
Who does he think he is? This is why I can't stand nobles.
I thought you might say that. If it makes you feel better, though, I have my doubts as to whether that man truly is a noble to begin with.
What?
His behavior seems so exaggerated. Almost as if he's trying to act like the quintessential noble. Like he's fulfilling the stereotype.
Yeah, something about him feels off to me, too. But what's even stranger is that he knew we only have one day left here.
You're right.
We told him of our field study, but never once did we divulge how long we intended to remain here.
Between him and that silver object, we've been crossing paths with a lot of strange people today.
Well, tomorrow's the end of our stint here. We can't let ourselves get distracted. We still have a lot to do.
That's right. We have to do our group proud.
Exactly.
We should return to the hotel and begin work on our reports then.
That we should indeed. Good old Blue Blanc. Delightful. Truly delightful. Vieh steht einfach im Leben nicht so in ihrem Bett.
Can't get to sleep?
I could ask you the same. You aren't going to tell me the bed's too hard for you, are you?
I wouldn't dream of it. I've never slept in a bed this high class in my life. Not even back at home.
And yet you're the son of Baron Schwarzer. You've not lived the life one might expect of a boy from a noble family.
Yeah, that's just how my dad is. A lord should live like his people, not above them. That's how he always put it.
I see. It sounds as though you have a good family.
Yeah, I'm very thankful for my upbringing.
Aren't you going to ask? I assumed you'd be curious about that brief exchange with my father earlier.
I wasn't really sure you'd want me to bring that up. You obviously get along really well with your brother, but I didn't get that same sense with the Duke. Has he always been like that?
As far back as I can remember. I suppose he just has little respect for a son born to a commoner.
What?
My brother and I have different mothers. He was born of my father's legal wife, a noble who still lives to this day. My own mother, however, was a commoner, and she passed away 8 years ago. In other words, I am his bastard son.
I had no idea. So, was that chef we met earlier?
He's my uncle, on my mother's side. Perhaps that's why he's always been so good to me. Or perhaps he's simply compelled to treat me as I deserve to be treated, being the son of the Duke.
No, that can't be. I don't blame you for being a little cynical, but there's no need to be quite so hard on yourself.
I suppose you're right.
I'm sure you have your differences, but you do get along with your brother, right?
You could say that. He's treated me well ever since I was taken in 8 years ago. He was the one who taught me my swordsmanship, and who trained me in the ways of court etiquette.
I knew it.
Pardon?
There's just something honest, I guess you could say, about the way you fight. It shows that whoever taught you was someone you really trusted. When we first met him this afternoon, I had a hunch he might have been the one. What's wrong?
Nothing at all. You just keep reminding me how unlike a noble you truly are.
I get that a lot.
Is your injury from this afternoon on the mend?
It's fine, honestly. There's no pain, and the wound's closed up like it was never there. I'll have to be sure to thank Emma's grandmother for her help someday.
That's good to hear. Still, from where I stand, you are something of a danger to yourself.
I am?
On the day of the entrance ceremony, when the trapdoor opened beneath us, you acted instantly to protect Elisa. There wasn't even a moment's hesitation.
Ah.
Ach ja, so wie alles begann.
In most cases, one would reflexively act to protect himself. It's part of man's natural survival instinct. Yet you put another before yourself, not even pausing to question the validity of that decision. And you did exactly the same thing with us today. I'm sure most people would see that as an act of selflessness and sing your praises for it. But to me, it comes across as abnormal, perhaps even twisted.
I don't know how to respond to that. I wasn't expecting you to see through me quite so clearly.
Well, I owed you as much for having seen through me first. Still, the point stands. You need to be more cognizant of the effects your actions have on those around you. If not for your health, then for your reputation. That selflessness of yours can just as easily be perceived as arrogance, after all.
I know it can. And you're not the first person to tell me that. What's the point in saving others if you can't spare even a moment to save yourself? That's what my old master always used to say to me.
Was it now? I suppose we both have some things we need to work through.
Yeah, but for now, we need to get a good night's sleep. If we stay up too late tonight, we're going to be dead to the world tomorrow, and that wouldn't be fair to the others.
I agree, it wouldn't be fair. To the girls, at least. I'd hate to be so tired as to limit my potential.
Hear, hear. Good night, Jusis.
Pleasant dreams.
Oh, schöner Bonding-Moment. Aber warum hat Max seine Brille an? Ach, Matthias. Sehr wichtig, das ist schon sehr wichtig für ihn, dass er das alles mitbekommen hat.
Keep up the good work.
30.05. Here is the envelope Lord Rufus entrusted to me. Please take it and study its contents well. Receive your study envelope, May. Thank you. Much appreciated. If you'll excuse me then, should you require anything further, please do not hesitate to let me know. Alright, let's see what my brother's given us for today. Yeah, I'm kind of anxious. Here's study day 2, assigned task. Nordkreuzen Highway Monster, Manager Richelieu. We have received word that a dangerous monster roams the North Kreuzen Highway. This is bad news for our hotel, so may I ask someone to please take care of it? Venus Mantrap. Bite of Nostalgia, Owner Hammond. I'd like to request someone's help in gathering a number of ingredients I need to make a particularly nostalgic dish. For more details, come find me at Saucier, a restaurant in the Central Plaza. Hammond. Another well-balanced assortment. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Rufus had predicted what happened yesterday from the very start. He's saying he intended to give us a first-hand look at the problems between the nobles and the commoners? If that's true, I'm impressed. His reputation is well earned. Sure does seem that way. I believe that's enough talk about my brother. We have only one day left before we must depart on our return voyage to Twister. We should set out as
Jusis Albarea.
What is it, Machius Regnitz?
I will accept no more failures. Today, we will form a combat link.
What?
As much as I may dislike you, I'm ashamed that we were unable to do what every other member of our class has accomplished. Today's monster extermination request seems as good a chance as any to make up for yesterday's failure. What did you say?
You really are simple-minded, aren't you? I suppose you overheard our conversation last night and feel some kind of affinity toward me now?
Nonsense! I did no such thing! I was fast asleep while you yammered on about your family and Reen and...
Machius.
That's pretty conclusive.
Very well. I accept. I'll be happy to show you what a proper combat link looks like.
We'll see about that. Fortunately, I have more than enough generosity of spirit to endure being paired with an arrogant noble like you.
Maybe today's field study will go more smoothly than yesterday's after all.
Lord Jusis.
Arno? What brings you here? I would have expected you to be at my father's side.
I'm terribly sorry I could not greet you upon your arrival yesterday. However, I have come today in the capacity of an escort.
An escort? To where? I'm sure you must be aware that I returned to Bereahard purely as part of a field study for my academy work.
But of course, however, His Grace has directly requested that I escort you to the mansion. So I would be most appreciative if you'd accompany me without delay.
Father? He showed no signs of desiring my company when we spoke yesterday.
I am in no position to question or oppose his orders, merely to obey them. I'm sure you understand. Though while I hesitate to speculate, I do wonder if His Grace may feel some regret regarding his demeanor yesterday.
as if.
But...
Go with him. We can attempt to form a combat link another time.
We'll be able to handle the morning's tasks just fine on our own. Don't worry about us.
Huh. You've come all the way back to your hometown. It would be a shame not to visit with your family, right?
Agreed.
Are you certain? Very well. I'll return this afternoon. And though I will worry as to how you'll fare without me, I know you'll at least give it your best, for what that's worth.
Of course we will.
All right. Let's meet back in the hotel lobby around noon. If something comes up, just leave a message at the front desk.
Understood. Lead the way, Arno.
Gladly, sir. Please excuse us.
Well, let's get started. We wouldn't want to give Jusis any further reason to worry, now would we?
Huh, certainly not. Still...
What? What is it? If you have something to say, just say it.
Oh, it's nothing. Nothing at all.
She's probably thinking, the worst is over, and it's all thanks to your eavesdropping.
Good boy.
Just stop that! Just stop looking at me like I'm some hapless babe! Rain, you do know I still haven't completely forgiven you for lying, don't you?
Are you still hung up on that?
And Emma, I hope you're ready to score second on our midterms because I'm not about to lose to you again. But don't even think about giving those exams any less than your very best. I intend to best you when you're in top form.
You will?
And as for you, Fee, I've been wanting to say this for a long time now. Sleeping in class is an affront to our education.
Ach, Matthias.
You need to start treating classes more seriously. Listen, take proper notes. Raise your hand now and then. And stop covering your ears when I'm talking to you.
I can't hear you.
Anyway, we've got a lot to do, so how about we get to it?
Right.
Jusis temporarily left the party. Ach ja. So langsam fängt Mark jetzt an, aufzutauen. So, dann gehen wir doch einmal hier hinaus. Gehen erstmal hier rüber zur Station Street. Das gar nicht, läuft Blue Blanc hier irgendwo rum? Ich weiß es tatsächlich gerade gar nicht. Interessant zu wissen. Nochmal ihr. I plan on reading this book to Rabbi since it's popular, but he won't let me read any more of it because there was a scary part in it. Well, we won't be using it anymore, so perhaps you might like it instead. Red Moon Rose, Chapter 5. So, und hier haben wir den... General Store. Hier, das ist die Boutique. Hier ist der General Store. War der Tipp, dass man ein bisschen frische Milch kaufen soll. Ich kaufe einfach mal nochmal 30. Das sollte mehr als genug sein. So. Dann fangen wir nochmal den Quest an. Dafür müssen wir jetzt rüber zum Aurochs Fort. Laufen wir doch mal. Ich glaube, es gibt nämlich keine Abkürzung darüber. Bisschen nervig, aber hey. Gut, dass es das so Speed-Up-Feature gibt.
That one looks annoying. Watch out.
So, damit sind wir dann auch drüben beim Aurochs Fort. Da ist er. And der Trail-Serie kennen ihn. Anton. So, this is Aurochs Fort. Wait, how did I end up here? Why do these things keep happening to me? Is something the matter? You're my messiah, sent by Adios to save me, aren't you? I'm not quite sure how you reached that conclusion. You don't seem like you're part of a provincial army, are you? What are you doing here? I'm lost, completely lost. I'll be fine though, no worries. That's a rather positive outlook for someone who's completely lost. Who is he? Just talking with this man is making my head hurt. Well, at times like this, it just seems logical to try and stay positive, no matter what. I think I may have reached my limit to that end, however. That's unfortunate. How did you get here to begin with? Well, I'll happily tell you, but fair warning, it's a truly moving tale of hardship and woe. I hope you've got some boxes of tissue ready, handy. Shall I begin? I think we'll pass. Oh, come on. Is there a short version? Fine, I'll see what I can do. Actually, to tell you the truth, there's really not much to say. I wandered out onto the highway for a bit of a change of pace and happened to spot a rare butterfly, so I chased after it. And suddenly, I found myself halfway along the canyon path, surrounded by monsters. So I ran, barely escaping with my life, and turned up here. The end. I see. That sounds like quite a predicament. As weird as this guy is, I don't think we can just leave him here like this in all good conscience. Escort him back. If you'd like, would be willing to escort you back to Albarea. Really? You would? Oh, thank you, thank you. You're such nice people. I wish those nasty provincial army soldiers were more like you. Something happened? Well, I went over and asked if one of them could escort me back to the city, but they just said that if I made my way here, I could get myself back the same way. Some people are just so cold-hearted, aren't they? Guess I shouldn't tell him I was thinking the same thing. I believe we all were. It looked as though the goddess hasn't abandoned me after all, though. Not if she was kind enough to send you my way. Should we be going then? Of course. Albarea, here we come. Anton, ein Staple der Reihe. Zu diesem Stand hier, also Cold
A dangerous foe. Stay
Stand
on
jetzt.
guard.
Stand Cold Steel 1 ist ja in jedem Weltspiel drin gewesen, ne? Also Guy First Chapter, Guy 1. Hold up, please. I'm sorry, but would you mind giving me a moment? Not a problem at all. Are you like getting tired? Oh, no, that's not it. I was just gazing at the valley beneath this bridge, and I thought this might be a good opportunity to calm myself down a bit. What are you going to do? You just let me worry about that. It'll only take a moment, I promise. It might make a bit of noise though, so please don't panic. I see. What is he planning on doing? Alright then. Whoa, how far down does this valley go? No, I'm not going to let that scare me. Perish the thought. I hate anniversary festivals. Farewell my youth. Whew, much better. Shall we be off then? Did I mishear you when you said you were going to calm yourself down? I think the best thing to do right now is probably just to pretend none of this ever happened. Wann ist das Anniversary Festival in Crossbell? Ist das wahrscheinlich, das ist wahrscheinlich das, was er referenziert. Oder referenziert er das von der, fuck, wie heißt die Schule in Sky, wo er auch Schüler war? Das würde beides Sinn ergeben. Bin mir sicher. Bin sicher, wie die Timeline mit dem Anniversary Festival in Crossbell ist. War in Zero. Und ich glaube nur Azure spielt zeitgleich mit dem hier. Zu teilen zumindest. Glaube ich. Er müsste hinkommen. I made it. I actually made it back alive. Thank you so much for this. You're welcome. I really have no idea how to make this up to you all. Oh, if it isn't Ricky. Hey, come and let me introduce you to my good friend Ricky. Hey Anton, you sure took your sweet time. You'll never believe what happened to me. But tragic as my story is, I made it back here all thanks to the help of these guys here. Right, I think I get what happened. Something terrible happened shortly after you left town, at which point these people came along and helped you. Haha, I knew you would understand, old buddy. This wiki person doesn't seem exactly normal either. They do say that birds of a feather flock together. I'm more amazed at the fact that they both seem completely calm despite all that's happened. It's kind of funny to watch though. You guys really are a bunch of good Samaritans, aren't you? Allow me to thank you as well. It takes some real guts to stick with them the whole way. You guys really are my saviors. Oh, I know. Let me give you this for all you've done for me. It's really popular over in Crossbell. Napping Mishi. Thank you. I assume the both of you are traveling together then? Did you come from Crossbow? Nah, we're from the Ball. We were just staying in Crossbow for a while as part of our trip. Okay, dann meint er wahrscheinlich das Anniversary Festival in Crossbow, was dann kurz vorher war. Okay. Yeah, we've both been traveling for a few months now. We only got here to Erebonia about a week ago. Now we're planning on making our way to a new destination. Right. So you'll be resuming your journey throughout Erebonia? Yep, that's the idea. But that's not all. One day I will find my true self after all this traveling. Oh, so he says, but he's almost out of money to actually do any traveling. He'll have to prioritize searching for a job over searching for himself soon. Well, that's true, but... Are these two actually friends? Anyway, thanks so much for all your help. We'll catch you later. Lost Traveler completed. Okay, where should our next destination be? I say as if I've actually got an option. My wallet's hurting pretty badly right now. Wiki. Well, I'm glad Anton's safe at least. Gotta admit, you never get bored when you're with this guy. Who else could end up like that after a simple walk? Puh. Das kann legit gefühlt wirklich nur Anton. Hallo, durch. So. Dann machen wir natürlich weiter. Hier im Restaurant Sorcier. Und reden mit Hammond. Greetings and welcome. Hello, Hammond. We're here to take up your request, but I'd like to thank you for that delicious meal last night first. It was good. Oh, I'm pleased to hear that. Might I ask where Lord Jusis is so? He was called back to the mansion, I'm afraid. We have planned to meet up with him in the afternoon, however. Is that so? Too bad Jusis isn't here, considering this request from his uncle. Anyway, about your request. Ah, yes. As you're at, I would like you to gather some ingredients for me. Are you all currently free? So I will explain the details of what I need. Take up the request. Yes, we can take it up now. Please go ahead and explain. The request mentions something about making a nostalgic dish? Correct. Said dish isn't on our menu, but it's one that I would like you all to try. I assume it's a rather special dish then. There's no doubt about how delicious it'll be if you're making it at least. What kind of dish is it? Perhaps soup is the best way to describe it. I plan on making enough for you all to enjoy, so please look forward to that. How could we not? What is it you need us to gather then? There are two types of ingredients I'd like to ask you to gather for me. The first is globby fat, which can be collected from monsters on the highway. I need 5 of those to be exact. The other is a herb. It's an herb used by the Septian Church to synthesize medicine, called a healing herb. So 5 piles of globby fat and a healing herb. Where do we get the herb from then? You want to speak to Sister Tatiana at Albarea Heart Cathedral. I'm sure she'd be willing to part with one. Just tell her I sent you. Alright, that sounds easy enough. Shall we start on the task at hand? Yeah, let's head to the cathedral first. Roger. Bite of Nostalgia. Oh, ist jetzt hier irgendwo Bubler rum? Nö. Dann gehen wir doch erstmal hier hoch. Wo ist denn Tatjana? Tatjana ist im linken Raum. Die Steuerung ist unfassbar clunky, leider von Cold Steel 1. Oh, good day. Is there something you need from me? You must be Sister Tatiana, I assume. Could we trouble you for a healing herb by any chance? Hammond from Sorcier told us that we'd be able to procure some here. Oh, is that so? I see. Would you mind waiting a bit while I prepare one for you? Here you go. We appreciate it, sister. This is an ingredient used for making medicine, isn't it? Is it safe to use for food too? Of course, it's a very healthy ingredient when used for food. The only issue that it is very bitter, so some inventiveness on the part of the chef is required to hide that. I see. Hammond must have some way of doing so then. I'm kinda interested in how he does it. Likewise. Same here. Well, thank you again for the help. You're welcome. Oh, jetzt da wird das Hand, weiß gar nicht. Habe ich zufällig schon die glaube ich fertig. Ich habe 32. Das sollte reichen. Können wir die Quest direkt abgeben. Hello again, I presume you've collected all the ingredients then? Yeah, everything's here and accounted for. Here you go. Much obliged. Please make your way over to the table. I'll begin preparing the dish immediately. How was it? I call this dish deluxe herb chowder. It was beyond delicious. I feel a sort of comforting warmth throughout my body after eating it. Wouldn't mind having some of this if I ever caught a cold. Indeed, I almost feel like a bowl of this might cure it outright. I'm pleased to hear that. You did mention that this was a rather nostalgic dish. I assume Jusis had it often? That's correct. It was one of his favorite dishes even. To tell you the truth, the one who created this dish was none other than my sister herself. In other words, Lord Jusis' mother. I see. Well then. Would that make you his uncle? Kind of surprising. Oh, oops, we didn't tell you two about that, did we? My apologies, I was under the impression that you were all aware. I wasn't expecting his mother to be the creator of this dish, though. His mother must have been skilled at cooking if she could think of a dish this delicious. She was indeed. She would even come by to help out here from time to time. The first time she made this soup was when Lord Jusis fell ill during his younger years. She went to the church to ask for medicinal herbs, after which she set about inventing a dish that would be both easy for him to digest and enjoyable to eat. Lord Jusis was always at the front of her mind. It really does sound like she cared deeply for him. Yet he lost her 8 years ago. Sounds like he hasn't had such an easy life after all. Someone's thinking about Jusis. Who might that be? Certainly not me. I've probably said too much. I was hoping that Lord Jusis would be here to enjoy this too, but at any rate, I'm happy that I could talk to you all about this. We got to learn a bit more about Jusis, so likewise. Well, that brings my request to an end. Thank you all for your help. There's plenty of soup left over, so feel free to take it with you. Oh, thank you, sir. Let me give you this as well. It's the recipe for the creamy chowder that this dish was based off. Can be made with more common ingredients. If you have the time, you should try and make it for yourself. I kinda wanna make it right now. I feel somewhat bad being treated to a delicious meal and then being taught a new recipe. That's very generous of you. This is the least I can do for Lord Jusis' friend. Goodbye then. I wish you luck with your future endeavors. Bite of Nostalgia completed. Gut, ich denke dann, das hier war ein guter Punkt, um den Part zu beenden. Wenn euch der Part gefallen hat, lasst gerne einen Daumen nach oben da, abonniert den Kanal, um nichts weiter zu verpassen. Bis dann, beim nächsten Mal. Bis dahin. Ciao, ciao.